Good evening. Many thanks for joining us live on QTV. You are watching QTV News and I am Ajipinto Drame. And tonight's top stories. An important day for the Gambia as general voter registration kicked off. The IEC on Saturday commenced voter registration for the electoral cycle 2021 to 2023. QTV visited several registration centers within the Kanifing municipality. In another voter registration report, we ask, are the youth likely to register in significant numbers? In sports news, in volleyball, we have a report on the clash between Gambia ladies and prison ladies. Well, those were our top stories for tonight. Do stay tuned for the news in detail. The IEC on Saturday commenced voter registration for the electoral cycle 2021 to 2023. QTV's Antumana Isunyasi visited several registration centers within the Kanifing municipality, and the IEC officials say the turnout has been so far good.
Gambia anticipates presidential elections in December this year. Acquiring a voter's card is a major requirement that one must fulfill in order to be able to participate in the elections. The various registration centers we visited include Serakunda Primary, Serakunda Marsengelo, Bundung Muritani, and Serakunda East Mini Stadium. Now, Announcement Jiba are senior registration officers at the Serakunda Primary School Registration Center.
Since we started around 8 o'clock, it has been going normal. Yeah, we have no problem yet.
No challenges?
No, not yet. And people are coming to register.
How has the turnout been like?
So far, it's almost good. Yeah, the turnout is definitely good.
Saliu and Ibrahim Job and Amaduba, residents of Serakunda, expressed satisfaction with the process, describing it as smooth and transparent, and called on residents of Serakunda to acquire their voters' cards as it is a constitutional right and major requirement for participation in the forthcoming presidential elections. Mohamed Jallo, supervisor at the voter registration center at Bundung Muritani, and Mohamed Lamin Diba and Lamin Dabo, residents of Bundung, all expressed satisfaction with the process and call on residents of Bundung, especially young people, to register.
Being a Gambian, do not wait to be forced or to be told to come and take your voter's card. You come, it is free, and you have your voter.
I mean, your vote is your voice, and I think it's important for every young person to come out and have your voter's card and decide your destiny. Because if you don't come and register your vote and vote during elections, then you wouldn't have a say in the national discourse. So I think it's imperative for all young persons who have attained the universal adult suffrage to come and register and then vote during elections.
My message is for the young people. I urge them to come out and register because taking part in a national process like this one is a duty we should all endeavor to fulfill. At the Serakunda East Mini Stadium Voter Registration Center, the supervisor, Sirif City Grant, and Musa F.S. Toure also expressed no concerns as they haven't encountered any challenges so far, except that the number of men who have registered at their center is fewer compared to women.
For them to come out and register, because it's their constitutional right for them to come out and register. So we urge all of them to come out and register. That's what we want. We're here for them, and we're here to serve them.
Encouraging men to come because we register more female than men. So I know they might be busy, but they can have time to come. Because today is the first day, and we will be here for almost 44 days.
Ibrahim Sise, NPP agent, Amikor, APRC agent, and Sidi Jaite, UDP agent, who are all there to observe the registration process, all express satisfaction. The voter registration is expected to last 44 days. Voters' cards are issued at no cost to Gambians. However, one has to produce a valid national identity card, passport, birth or attestation certificate to acquire a voter's card. Ansmana Isonyasi for QTV News.
As general voter registration kicks off on Saturday, concerns have been raised about the general turnout of the youths. QTV's Mohamed Lamin Choi has been out monitoring the voter registration process and public participation, and especially among the youths.
It is the beginning of another electoral cycle that will shape our lives and determine our country's developmental trajectory. Eligible citizens wishing to participate in the upcoming elections are turning up to register and receive a voter's card with which They can decide at the ballot box leaders who will steer the affairs of our state. The first day of the voter registration process is showing more participation from the older generation than from the youth. I can say the turnout is better, but there needs to be public sensitization, especially for the youth and the women. Today, most of those turn out to register are the elderly, and the youth have to come and get registered so as to express their voice at the polls. The turnout so far is just a better one, but not so impressive. Youth participation in the voter registration is hugely significant, given that currently almost 60% of the Gambia's population is under the age of 25. Such a significant percentage not registering to vote can have serious consequences for the election outcome. Mustafa D.Y. Dabo expresses surprise at the youth registration turnout.
So it's Gambia, almost youths, dominate, one can say, the population.
Looking at our population, we the youth constitute the greatest number, so the youth need to come out. When I came here in the morning, I was surprised with the low turnout from the youth. I thought that the youth would come out to register. Generally, public turnout at the voter registration centers we visited appears low, but this IC staff member, a team supervisor on the ground, is optimistic that the numbers will improve as the registration process continues.
It looks low, though maybe it is because it is the first day and it is a weekend. Probably that is the problem, but I believe with time they will all come out.
To guarantee an impressive public participation in the voter registration process, political leaders have an important role to play. At this registration center, I met the National Assembly member for Bundukakunda constituency, Bakari Njai, who appeals for everyone to register to vote. Also, Ajemberi Sao, who has just registered, takes the opportunity to sensitize the public on voter registration.
This is why it is very, very important for everyone, each and every Gambian, to come out and take their register so that they can be able to vote. Because if they don't, they cannot vote. And they cannot decide who will govern them.
I am telling everyone to stop refusing to register to vote and using the excuse that it is a useless exercise. Oh yes, getting registered to vote is useful. The reason it is important is because when you have a voter's card, you have a voice, and it is your voice that will elect and remove leaders from office and bring about changes.
It is day 1 of 44 days of a nationwide voter registration by the Independent Electoral Commission. Due to its significance, the exercise is funded by the taxpayers, giving them the chance to exercise their only sovereign right to hold power accountable through the ballot box. As this is day 1, it is far too early to draw any conclusions over how the process will evolve. As the registration drive continues, we will report on progress to determine whether the first day was a pointer to the rest of the process or an aberration. Mohamed Lamin Choy, QTV News.
From our regional reporters, we firstly have a report on day 1 of registration in Basse in the Upper River region. Here is Alhaji A.F. Jallo.
Today marks the beginning of the voter registration exercise. It is observed all around this country. This is a very important exercise for the Gambia, and as we are aware that we are going into 2021 presidential elections. So as a result, the Independent Electoral Commission is out and about and all around the country to make sure that there is a new voter registration exercise. So we are here in the community of Mansajang.
Today marks the beginning of the general voter registration. As we all are aware, every Gambian is entitled to come and get your voter's card. In getting your voter's card, there are requirements. And once again, I want to remind the Gambians that whoever wanted to have your voter's card, you must have these documents. 1 is the birth certificate, 2 ID card, 3 passport. In the absence of all these 3 documents, you can go to the alkali who will attest to that you are a Gambian. And those forms are available at our registration centers. Whoever wanted them can come to the registration center and collect them and take it to the alkali. It is the alkali who will confirm that you are a Gambian. Whilst you have those forms, you come, you join the queue, and then you go follow the procedures to get your voter's card. But also want to remind the Gambians that COVID-19 is still here. You must follow the COVID-19 protocols. You should have distancing, physical distancing, have the face mask, and when you come, Our officers have their thermometers. They will check your temperature.
Voters katela kuma iko ni ya election oketa ni votino bekala bengi ne sambala ya voting.
The importance of voters' card is that one will use it to vote during elections, the old woman said. I came here early in the morning because I need it and I got it.
Today marked the first day of the general voter registration in the Gambia, particularly in the Upper River region. As you can see, the process has started smoothly, and this is the second team that we are visiting, and we have not seen any problem. As I'm speaking to you, you yourself can attest to that because you've got your card. So therefore, nothing is going on except the process is very smooth. So this is what I can tell the Gambian people, that we are doing it and we'll continue to do it for them.
Still on to voter registration, from our regional correspondent in Farafenni, we hear how the registration process went. John Williams, one of our team in Farafenni, tells us more.
We are here in Farafenni. Right behind me, you see people are queuing. Some are sitting down, waiting to be registered as the voters' registration is in progress. Now, it is time. This is the first step towards election, to go towards election, and now people are preparing for that.
I'm the some officer in registration. Yes, so I register people, so they go there and they got their voter's card easily.
Okay. So what are the documents that every individual should present?
They must have a national identity card or passport, or birth certificate. If anyone didn't have any of those, so the person should get attestation here, take it to the alcalo. The alcalo will fill it, or SAFO. They will fill it, stamp it, bring it back here. Then you are qualified to have the voter's card.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
And I see you are standing here on a queue.
Yes, please.
And how long have you been standing?
I've been here since in the morning.
Since in the morning?
Yes.
And why are you standing here? Why are you
I am here to exercise my democratic rights as a citizen of this country. And that's why I am here. And from here, I will allow my family members also to be here, so that all of them, and I want to urge everybody in the country who are eligible to come and register in order to support your country, support human rights, support democracy, so that this country the international community will recognize us as a really democratic country. That's why I'm here.
How do you see the process going?
I think it's going fine. Some are sitting, others are standing. They are giving priorities to the elderly, to those who are not quite strong.
How is the process going on?
So far so good. The process is going smoothly. The centers open on time, like they said over the media. And the people doing the registration were here as early as the stated time of opening. And people are coming, really, but they are coming in trickles right now. But I believe, Farafenni being a very big center, probably you see the crowd increasing, as time goes on. And I believe, most women, have gone to the market and they are cooking. So probably after lunch, you will see a lot of people, coming here to change their voters' card.
We will take a short commercial break. Still to come, we have more local stories and sports news follows. Stay tuned.
Your favorite mobile service has done it again. Now, you can buy cash power with your Q Money account, free of charge. Yes, you heard me right. For free! Nothing is cheaper than free. So start buying your cash power from the comfort of your homes with unbeatable services Q Money has to offer. With Q Money, life is easy. Visit your nearest Q Money agent to cash in or call customer care on 133 for more information. Don't forget to wash your hands with soap after handling cash. Stay home, stay clean, stay safe. Q Money. Sunyu Kalpe. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back. You just tune in. This is QTV News. As Gambians commence general voter registration for the December presidential election, the chairman of the Committee on Political Affairs, Peace and Security of the ECOWAS Parliament, in an exclusive interview with QTV's Aliou Cissé, Senator Snow said his committee will keenly monitor developments. They spoke on the sidelines of the ECOWAS Parliament ordinary session currently underway in Abuja, Nigeria. Here is an excerpt.
Gambia is very key in our region. As a matter of fact, Gambia is poised to have the next chairmanship of the ECOWAS Commission, if all goes well. Gambia is very strategic in our West African region. So anything to ensure peace and security in the Gambia, we welcome it. I'll be spending a lot of time in the Gambia this year, monitoring the process. We know there was a call for constitutional reform that is also scheduled in December of this year. And then the election is coming up. So it's a very crucial year for Gambia. This is a year for Gambia to actually rebrand and put herself amongst the community of nations.
You've really demonstrated for the year on top of issues as far as Gambia is concerned. Like you said about the issue of the constitutional reforms. These were reforms that the president had promised Gambians when he was elected. But we have seen that has failed. Are you in any way disappointed?
Definitely. We honestly thought that, for example, basic thing, the matter of voting, that was one issue that a lot of Gambians had during the regime of Yahya Jammeh. And to have seen that would be the same matter in this coming election, it was quite shocking. But you know, democracy is not 1 + 1 = 2. Sometimes it's 1 + 1 = 5. So depending on the situation on the ground, the prevailing situation, things are adjusted. I hope that even as Gambians go for the election, the need for a constitutional reform will still be in place, because there are some basic things in the constitution that contradicts a lot of democratic tenets. So we hope that they would take seriously, even if it's not now, after the election, that they will still take seriously the issue of constitutional reform.
It already promised to be a very tense election. We have 18 registered political parties. And then what is your message to the leaders of these political parties in terms of ensuring that there's peace and stability before, during, and even after the election?
Well, we've been, like I said to you, we've closely monitored Gambia. We even watched some of the parties' primaries. We watched some of the debates that went on. We've dealt with some of the candidates from the different political parties. And you are right. Gambians, this is the first time you'll be going for election without the kind of threat you had during the regime of Yahya Jammeh. This is the first time that people can freely express themselves and don't expect to be intimidated or arrested. So it's going to be a very tough election. We should not abuse the democratic space. Where your right begins is where the right of the next person ends, or where the next person ends is where you begin. So it's very important that Gambians take advantage of the democratic space and have a healthy discussion as they go through the election. You don't have to insult, you don't have to be personal, deal with the issues, and at the end of the day, Gambians should make the decision who becomes the next leader.
In other news, a former captain and close associate and eventually an orderly of former President Yahya Jammeh on Thursday and Friday told the Truth Commission that Yahya Jammeh confessed to him that he had ordered the killing of 3 members of his immediate family. Sekou Jallow is the final witness to appear before the Truth Commission, ending 2 years of public hearings. Babukasi reports.
Sekou Jallow began his testimony with a background of his education before enlisting into the Gambia Armed Forces and rising through the ranks to become, as he claimed, one of Jammeh's most trusted soldiers, and later appointed as an orderly to Jammeh and his immediate family. He went further to narrate about the Almamo Mane alleged coup plot and the formation of the commando training and the junglers. The witness said he knew some of the operations conducted by the junglers were illegal and criminal, but refused to call the person that sent them criminal.
As far as you know, did he send people to commit crime? Between you and your God, you have...
Yes, he did.
Could you answer again?
I said, yes, he did.
Does that not make him a criminal?
Yes, I will due respect, I will never call him a criminal on that, because those send the reason why they know best and why he did. Was it a criminal act? Was it a, I'm not going to say that, I'm sorry, sir.
On the arrest and killing of Haruna Jammeh, ex-President Jammeh's uncle, the witness narrated that Jammeh's uncle was accused of trying to kill Jammeh and inherit his fortunes using a marabu, and when Yaya Jammeh became aware, he ordered the arrest of his uncle and one Jasaja Kujabi, who were later killed. Later, Haruna's sister Mbasi Jammeh also came asking for her brother, only to be arrested and killed by Jammeh's hit squad.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He said because Tumbul was misleading him on so many occasions. That's why I said when the family came to ask him about them, I remember that day he was remorseful. He was almost into tears because it's like it's a poor water, he can't pick anymore.
The witness went further to tell the TRRC that the late Tumbul Tamba misled ex-President Jammeh to do so many illegal things, including the killing of Daba Marena and others. The witness said Hari Sambu, Tumbul Tamba, Usman Sonko and Yaya Jammeh discussed and agreed to fabricate that Daba Marena and co. were being transferred to Janjambre when their car somersaulted. He told the commission that Jammeh ordered the killing of Daba Marena and co.
He said, they lied to me and then they made me give the orders, these people to be killed.
On the execution of the 56 West African migrants in 2005, the witness said Yaya Jammeh told him that he was misled to believe that these people were mercenaries by Musa Jammeh and Tumbul Tamba. The witness said Yaya Jammeh at one point, serving as an orderly under him, wrote a list of more than 40 people he wanted death, describing them as his enemies, and gave it to his marabu to either kill them spiritually or stop them from talking about him. The list includes former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, Blaise Compaoré of Burkina Faso, Abdoulaye Wade of Senegal, and other prominent Gambian figures.
Who was meant to die? And whose mouths were meant to be zipped?
Panderimba was not to talk about him anymore.
Panderi was zip mouth?
Yes. So any opposition member being named there was never, so that they will never ever come together to form a coalition against him.
The witness also talked about the witch hunting exercise by the president and his team and the 2009 failed coup. He confirmed to the commission that people died because of drinking the so-called concoction, but denied taking part in beating people. Despite video evidences of people accusing him of arresting and beating people during the witch hunt exercise, the witness only accepted that he was present at the scene, but denied touching anyone. Babu Karsi, QTV News.
Now on to sports news. Gamtel defeated Prisons 3-0, completing the double over their opponents in this season's Women's Volleyball League on Friday evening. Our reporter Mobutu Gajaga was at the Serekunda Volleyball Court and he now reports.
The Telecom ladies set an early pace with good serves, intelligent positioning and blocking with power. After a few slips midway in the first set, Gamtel showed supremacy, scoring points with urgency. Their opponents, Prisons, couldn't deal with the pace, forcing them into making individual mistakes. Even in serving, they lost points. Gamtel came out on top, 25-15 in the first set. In the second set, Prison ladies got off to a good start with their serves. However, it didn't take long before basic errors came to haunt them. The Telecom ladies swiped it again, 25-17, with an impressive display. Despite dominating in two previous sets, and on their way to make it a third straight lead, Gamtel almost let the set slip. However, thanks to a brilliant performance by their star player Anna Marie Bojang, they snatched victory 25-23.
Well, I feel excited. I feel great because we have been training for, I can say, 2 weeks because we didn't train the whole Ramadan. So we trained for 2 weeks to prepare for our match against Prison and YMCA, and we performed good.
Prisons fell short of their performance in the reverse fixture in the earlier part of the season, when the two sides played at the Josuan Court. At least then, they forced the game to a fourth set, losing 3-1 overall. Anna Jassy, who is playing in her first season, reacted to the defeat and struck a tone of defiance.
I believe coming I believe knockout. Nana jambe gael booty lale. 100% so be gael booty la because man silela. Emo muso let control.
We lost this game today, but I can promise you when we play them again in the Knockout Cup, we will defeat them. We are not scared of them. We're all equal.
Momudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Well, before we end this bulletin, let's take a quick look at our main stories. The IEC on Saturday commenced voter registration for the electoral cycle 2021 to 2023. QTV visited several registration centers within the Kanifing municipality. In another voter registration report, we ask, are the youth likely to register in significant numbers? In sports news, in volleyball, we had a report on the clash between Gamtel ladies and prison ladies. Well, that's it from me in tonight's edition. Thank you for your company and have a good evening.